Hi everyone, Miss Kilroy here. Today I'm going to tell you the plan for the class period. So take out your notebook and we're going to start by writing these 6 words in the vocabulary section of our notebook. So make sure not only do you have the word, but you also have their definitions. So you can either use your notebook for the definitions or the textbook. Um, Make sure you put them in the vocab section, so motion goes in the M section. If you don't have your notebook, you can use the line paper under the inbox, but everyone should be writing down these 6 words and their definitions. You can go ahead and press pause. I'm going to move forward, but you guys should wait till the rest of the class is ready to go. So please be quiet and do your vocab. All right, here's the warm-up for today. Make sure you have a half sheet. What's going to happen is I'm going to tell a story and I want you to write down the location. So in the data table on the left side of the handout, you have the time, and then I'm going to tell you the distance with the story. So you're going to fill out the data table. So we're starting with SpongeBob and Patrick. They are over at Patrick's house, which is at position 1. So at time 1, write 1 meter. Patrick and SpongeBob are sitting there bored over at Patrick's house and they're chatting. So they're still at Patrick's. Another second goes by, they're still there, they're trying to come up with an idea of what they should do for the day, and they figured out they want to cheer up Plankton. Plankton is always so angry and evil, they want to make him happy. So they figure out that SpongeBob needs to go back to his house. So at time 4 seconds, he's now at meter 2. He's still trucking along, walking down the block. Still going, almost at his home at the pineapple. And then at time 7, he's made it home at his pineapple for 5 seconds. And him and Patrick came up with a plan, and they can't seem to find SpongeBob can't seem to find what he was looking for. He was looking for something specific to cheer him up. And he finally discovered his cute little kitten. So he's going to bring the kitten back to Plankton's house this time. So he's carrying the cute little kitten back to Plankton's. Plankton's house is at meter 3. And at 10 seconds, he gives the cute little kitten to Plankton, and Plankton still isn't happy, still is evil. So they tried their best, but they ended up not pleasing Plankton. But anyways, now that you have all your data points, right, I want you to plot the points of SpongeBob's journey. So we've got distance on the y-axis, time on the x. Come up with a fun title for the story that somehow relates the distance versus time. And I want you to plot the points. So you have to come up with a scale that fits both sides. And go ahead and keep going. No rulers for today. You can just do straight lines as best as you can. Now, the purpose of today, I want you to practice plotting points and looking at the graph, because yesterday we talked about acceleration graphs. But this right here is a speed graph. And how can we tell the difference? It's by the axes. So if it's distance over time, distance divided by time is a speed graph. If it's velocity over here, velocity over time, it's going to be an acceleration graph. So here we're going to be talking about this speed. And feel free to pause this at any time so everyone can catch up. But now that your graph is complete, you've plotted the points, the next part I want you to do is I want you to write what is happening at each part of the line. Okay, so think back to the story. Were they staying in one place? Were they at someone's house? Were they walking? Were they running? Were they going back to where they were? What was SpongeBob doing? So let's give the class time to write here, 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 and here. You can pause it if you need to. Now that you guys have everything labeled, what's happening? So they started at Patrick's. SpongeBob walked to his house. So then he's at SpongeBob's house looking for the kitten. he turned around so that he could go back to Plankton's house. Okay, so Plankton's house is right here, SpongeBob's is here, and Patrick's is here. So at all the horizontal spots, not moving. So now that you have that, I want you to calculate the speed of every line. Okay, so the speed, you start with the change in distance divided by the change in time. And you can start with the easy ones, the horizontal spots. So to make things easy, label the lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 3, you don't have to do calculations. You should know the speed, how fast are they going when they're here and here. So all you have to calculate is 2 and 4. So at line 2, the final distance is 5 minus the initial distance of 1, you subtract, divided by the final time of 7 minus 3. So you should have 4 divided by 4. Okay, that's my hint. Feel free to pause so people can catch up with the speed calculations. No need for a calculator. Go ahead and check your answers. So lines 1 and 3, they're going 0 meters per minute. Line 2, it's 4 divided by 4, which is 1 meter per minute. And then line number 4 is the most challenging because you end up with a negative number. So you end up with negative 2 divided by 2 gives us negative 1. So how can a speed be negative? Well, it's a velocity. It's telling us now he's going back to where he had passed. So when he was at Patrick's and he was walking back, he passed Plankton's house to get to his house. So then he had to turn around and go back to where he had passed, which was Plankton's house. So it's going to be a negative number. All right, for the rest of the period today, you need to finish your classwork. The first side is all review. It's speed calculations. So 4-step method, this one's asking for speed. This one is asking for distance. This one is asking for time. So for step 2, for all of these, you need to write down a different equation. So you need to look back at your notes. What are the right equations? The back side is going to be just what we did for our warm-up. We're having a position versus time graph where you need to calculate the speed of each, or actually of only line A and E. First part, identify what's happening to the object. So just like the warm-up, right? Are they walking, running, staying in place? Did they turn around, go back to where they were? Okay, start with that, and then calculate the speed. And then the last part is acceleration problems from the notes that we did yesterday. So you can look at those examples there. So you have the rest of the class period to use your notebook to complete both sides of the worksheet. Tomorrow I will be collecting this one and the one from yesterday, the C notes. So please use your time wisely. Good luck.